Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to our today lecture. In our previous lectures, we have discussed the different types of cost theoretically. In our today lecture, we are going to discuss that how can we see all these costs in a single table. And after this lecture, we will make the graph for all of these costs separately. So now let's discuss that how can we calculate different type of cost. The first column is showing the number of units that are being produced. And the first column is showing the total cost. Second column is showing the fixed cost. As you can see that when you are producing 0 unit, you are still paying the fixed cost. As I have mentioned in my previous lectures, that fixed cost is a cost that is not related with your output. Either you are producing nothing or you are producing multiple goods, you have to pay this cost, and this cost remain the same with change in output. So the fixed cost is remain 3 throughout the production process, as it is not changing with change in output. The next column is for variable cost, and the variable cost is that with change in output. If you are producing something, then you have to bear this cost, and if you are not producing anything, then there is no need and there is no expense on you for the production of for this cost. For example, when you are producing 0 unit, then your variable cost is 0. Let's say when you are not producing any kind of good, you do not need any labor, you are not consuming electricity, you are not taking raw material. So that's why when you are producing nothing, your variable cost is 0. And when you are producing 1 unit, so for the production of unit you need labor, you need technology, you need electricity, you need raw material, so this will cost you. So now when you are producing something, you have to bear the cost, and when you are producing nothing, you do not need to bear this cost, that is variable cost. And when you are producing 2 goods, so now you are producing 2 goods, so that you need more labors, you are consuming more electricity, you need more raw material, so your cost increases from 0.3 to 0.80. Similarly, when you are producing 3 unit, you need more labor, you need more electricity, you need more raw material, which ultimately increases your variable cost from 0.8 to 1.50, and so on. So when you add fixed cost plus variable cost, it will give you the total cost. 3 plus 0 equals to 3. 3 plus 0.3 gives you 3.30. 3 plus 0.80 will give you 3.80. 3 plus 1.50 gives you 4.50. 3 plus 2.40 gives you 5.50, and so on. So when you add fixed cost plus variable cost, it gives you the total cost. While calculating average fixed cost, you have to divide the fixed cost with the number of unit produced. Here you are producing 1 unit and your fixed cost is 3. So for the calculation of average fixed cost, you have to divide fixed cost with the number of unit produced. So 3 divided by 1 equals to 3. And then 3 divided by 2 equals to 1.5, then 3 divided by 3 equals to 1, then 3 divided by 4 equals to 0.75, then 3 divided by 5 equals to 0.6, and so on. And for the calculation of average variable cost, we have to divide the variable cost with the number of units produced. So variable cost is 0.3 and the quantity producing at this point is 1. So 0.3 divided by 1 equals to 0.3. And here the variable cost is 0.8 and you are producing 2 units. So when we divide 0.8 with 2, we have 0.40 as average variable cost. And here we are producing 3 units and variable cost is 1.50. So we have to divide variable cost with the number of quantity. 1.50 divided by 3 equals to 0.50, and similarly you can calculate the rest of the values. Average total cost. We can calculate average total cost by using two different formulas. The first is that average total cost is the sum of average fixed cost plus average variable cost. So when we add average fixed cost plus average variable cost, we have average total cost. 3 plus 0.3 equals to 3.30. 1.5 plus 0.4 equals to 1.90. 1 plus 0.50 equals to 1.50. 0.75 plus 0.60 equals to 1.35. So in this way we can calculate the rest of the values when we add average fixed cost plus average variable cost. The second formula for the calculation of average total cost is that when we divide total cost with number of goods produced. So here we have total cost is 3.30 and the quantity is 1. So 3.30 divided by 1 equals to 3.30. And here the total cost is 3.80 and the number of units produced is 2. So 3.80 divided by 2 equals to 1.90. And 4.50 divided by 3 equals to 1.50. 5.40 divided by 4 equals to 1.35, and similarly you can calculate the rest of values. The last column is showing the marginal cost. Basically the marginal cost is the change in total cost due to the change in number of units produced. So as you can see that from this point to this point, there you can calculate the change in total cost by subtracting this value from this value. 3.30 minus 3 will give you the change in total cost of 0.30, and change in total quantity is 1 minus 0, which is 1. So when you divide 0.30 with 1, it will give you the marginal cost of $0.30. Similarly, when you are producing 2 units, your cost increases from 3.30 to 3.80, and in order to calculate the change, you have to subtract this value from this value. 3.80 minus 3.30, which gives you 0.50, that is change in total cost, and the change in quantity is 2 minus 1, which is equals to 1. So 0.50 divided by 1 equals to 0.50. And when you want to calculate the marginal cost for the third unit, you have to subtract this value from this. 4.50 minus 3.80 will gives you the change of total cost 0.70, and change in total quantity is 3 minus 2, which is equals to 1. So 0.70 divided by 1 equals to 0.70, and you can calculate the rest of values by using this formula.